Across the millennium years is crunch time in this whole agenda, crunch time for the human race. This is the time when this network of interbreeding bloodlines wants to bring in its global fascist structure of a world government to which nation states would be administrative units, of a world central bank and a world currency, a currency that wouldn't be cash, it would be merely electronic, for which there are fundamental implications for human freedom.
That in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain waves, and I can immediately tell you how the people react, or I can feel how the people react to your...
Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will. That's over. Free will.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
Biggest terror threat in...
This global pandemic has also created an opportunity to build back better.
Building back better, this pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts.
Now we have to accelerate because we are living the first consequences of basically climate disorders. It's time to rush, and President Biden is 100% right to do so.
Last week, I shared the outlines of my plan to build back better.
It's about building this country back better.
As Europeans,
the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, half of this cabinet, are actually young nobles of the world economy. We penetrate the cabinets. The change is not just happening. The change can be shaped by us.
What's up, dog?
What's up?
I don't know, you just seem like you got a lot of information and knowledge.
I got a few things. I can tell you this. Everything that's going on, both politically, globally, is all planned.
Thank you.
To work with the US and with Europe. First, to accelerate its target of 2030.
Our strongest beliefs are challenged by the rise of a yet unknown new world order.
A new world order that China has to be part.
To crack down on social media abuse is being considered by the federal government. For more, Nine's Oliver Haig joins us live in Adelaide. Ollie, how will it work?
Lila, good morning. Essentially, it will work the same as a passport. Australians forced to submit 100 points of identification, like their driver's licence or passport, when using social media accounts like Facebook and Twitter. Now, police would have access to those social media accounts, and it's all part of a crackdown.
This sucks. Change it.
Yummy, 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 I got bugs in my tummy and I feel like munching you.
We'll be right back.
Fear is the path to the dark side.
the fear of change, of progress. Luke, to defeat the Sith, eat the bugs, you must.
Not this time, meat eaters! Insectors! Consumers!
Avengers! Eat the bugs.
Frequent and intense climate change-caused weather events. These events especially affect girls and young women. Your hamburger comes with a dose of misogyny. The Western world colonized their space without sending
The left the pedos, 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 pedo. That's all people should hear when they think of left-wing politics. And there's so many examples.
If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of the serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old, I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves and nations at war with themselves until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress, and deify science. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who want it until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing.
Antichrist unlocks the mystery to what ecumenism is all about. Ecumenism is the globalization of religion, the pulling together of different Christian denominations and even melding them with other religions like Islam and Hinduism and so on the belief that they're all legitimate paths to God. It's an ancient pagan belief in a multiplicity of gods, effectively, even though the claim is that they all lead back to the same God. The Lord said that he had come to bring not peace but a sword, and that he would divide even families with his truth. And indeed, a lot of people who will resist ecumenism will probably be accused of lacking in love, even while they stand up for truth. And truth is indispensable to love. There are different sides of the same coin.
Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil. For you are with me. Always remember that the biggest waste can make is a waste of time. Nobody is coming to save you. Get up. Be your own hero.
All right. Welcome, guys. This is All Minus One. My name is Bill. Hey, I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Thanks for showing up. I hope I sound a lot better. I feel a lot better. My brain is a lot less foggy. I was kind of full of energy when Dawn was on, even though I was exhausted. And then, couldn't stream Tuesday, which I was not happy about because I'm trying to be consistent, but I was just way too tired. And yesterday was a struggle, but we made it through. I ended up doing more than I thought I would. So thanks for showing up again. Thanks for stopping by. I see the viewer counts going up right now. That is awesome. Please give me a like over on the Rumbles if you're watching there. If you're on YouTube, you should probably get off YouTube because I'm about to cut off the YouTube stream. I'll probably give it just a few more minutes. That's why I'm playing the memes there at the beginning, guys. I still have show intro. I'll be doing similar things, I guess, here and there. I'm going to try and figure out how to integrate the ends justify the memes into this, as well as either some sort of segment. I might still keep that channel and do it in a certain way, but I just kind of want to do what I was doing, at least keep myself sharp on it, trying to build this channel. Like, I don't need to be, salty cracker or anything, right? Not trying to do that per se, but just, build the channel some, build the community. Really do want to be consistent, very much be on point with this call to commie disruption. And that's the big thing, is that we really need to understand what this commie thing is all about. And I've been doing that for a while, over 2 years on this channel, though the last 6 months I've been a little preoccupied with life, so things happen, as it were, right? Had a new little one just announced today to my family, to all family, although I already said it on here. We have another one on the way, and we've put an offer on a house since our family is expanding. So lots of cool things going on. I'm looking at having a second job here soon that maybe is going to be transitional into doing something full-time that's going to be a lot more profitable, I hope. Of course, that I'm not hedging my bets on an outside employer. You also got to hustle on the inside, folks. And that's not just doing this channel. That is other things in the background, which I really hope I can get going so I can share with you all, so that, perhaps you all can do things. But, if there's ever any meetups or anything like that, I know Yiz just had one up in Tennessee, or is about to have one. I am far too busy to do any of those things right now, at least until probably fall time, I would suggest for myself. But in any case, if that's the case, then, we meet up in person, or if you're on the show, we can talk behind the scenes, whatever it is. We can, maybe talk about it non-publicly. I just don't want to make a big public stink about it and then basically stick my foot in my mouth, because I don't have enough experience yet in this particular avenue of wealth creation. So with that, let's see. I got several things here lined up from Classical Libra 12. That's at Classical Liberal 12 on Twitter. And she, whomever, I'm assuming it's a he, should be coming on tonight here in a bit. Had some family things to finish up, but we've been talking all week. So we'll see. I think we're going to let him go through his thread, and several threads he had me take a look at, because we are all starting to really understand this whole communism is a religion thing. And, people have said leftism is a religion for a long time. People have said these people are mentally ill. People have suggested that, it's a mind virus, or someone like Gad says it's, some sort of mind pathogen, correct? And these are all true. I think James Lindsay in one of his lectures, very specifically, I used a clip of, said that it was like a cordyceps that takes over, and devours the brain of this of the insect. It eats its flesh, takes it over, and then it's basically running the zombie body afterwards. Um, that's kind of how these things go about. So, before we get into that, though, let's talk a little bit, since we'll be waiting. Let's talk specifically about cognition. I guess I can bring some things up here. And what I wanted to talk about the other day was that specifically. And of course, I didn't really get into it because of me not feeling well and whatever else. But the the things I really wanted to cover all this week, which totally got sidetracked, was how people think and perceive things. And so I wanted to maybe play a clip for you to have some understanding of the level of someone's ability to understand what's going on in the world. So there was a tweet today from Kim Iverson. Maybe it wasn't today, but I caught it today, about only 30% of Americans remained unvaccinated, which honestly, considering the propaganda and how much cowardice exists, because I think some people got it even though they were somewhat aware and just praying that they would not be injured, right? Which, I mean, mind you, I've been in that position. I've been more weak-minded in the past for sure. But you know, yeah, it was one of those things where immediately I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. There is about 2/3 of the country that just have no idea. And guys, I'm kind of an old hat at this. Like I was back in the day campaigning for Ron Paul, campaign for liberty, like back and for the 2008 election. No, I went through divorce and stuff, and so kind of sort of got out of politics, other than debates on the interwebs. um, but I've been a little bit more active in it, and it's different today because it's so much more easy to communicate with folks. Here we go. Here's our guest right now. We'll talk about all that later. Okay, going to be on camera. Sweet. That's totally your call, partner, before I bring you in. So I'll give you a chance if you don't want to be. There we are. Can you hear?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
Can
we
you hear
hadn't
me
met
okay?
ahead of time, really. So I'm Bill, by the way. I mean, I know we sort of chat here and there on the Twitter, and we'll just call you Classic Liberal.
That's fine. My name's Clint. I just throw that handle up because
What's that?
it's just my name's Clint, like Eastwood.
Clint. Okay. I don't know how anonymous you want to remain or be or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, I don't have. It's kind of weird. I just didn't. It's kind of like I just never got around to putting my real name. It was just too easy to use my handle and all that. So I just kind of stuck with it. So, but it's no. That's the only reason. It's not. I'm not trying to.
yeah.
hide or
I
anything.
mean, dude, I've been like I haven't really been trying to push this stream or channel or anything. I just been kind of doing it, and in fact I've been on a layoff from doing it for like 6 months, which I was just talking about. But yeah, I have this like branding problem where my Twitter handle's one thing, my channel's another thing. I got two other channels that are two other things. So I feel you, but such is life. In any case, so you started stumbling upon this thing with James Lindsay's view of wokeness being Gnostic and religious, I would assume, right? Or
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
come upon this earlier?
No, it was Lindsay. Yeah, that's where
Okay.
I got that from. So it was weird because I listened to his, like, I guess I want to call it seminal work on it was, I think it was on Sovereign Nations, where it was basically when he kind of outlined what that looked like, what Gnostic, how Marxism was Gnostic. And when he explained it, and then I did a lot of research on Gnosticism, and then I looked at it and I was like, I don't know how to put it. It's the same thing. Everything made sense, right? Like it's so, I think I usually like to take the position that actually Marx isn't as clever as he thinks he is, because all he did was take his stupid economic theory, and it's just a euphemism for Gnosticism. That's it. It's
Right,
not
pretty
very
much.
clever at all, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, after Lindsay, I watched that one. I think he was onto that early, about 3 months before, but he was just like with the esoteric stuff with SEL. He's a little afraid to bring it to the forefront, I think. And then ever since then, he's been kind of laying in it too a little bit heavier. And then that led me to, do you know who Stephen Coughlin is? Have you ever heard of him?
Coughlin?
Yeah. You've never heard of him? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not
Okay.
I'm not a name guy though, honestly.
Okay.
I get names very you know, I remember a lot of things and I connect a lot of dots, but sometimes specifics elude me, especially when it comes to names. Real quick though,
Okay.
guys, I'm going to cut off the YouTube stream. This is just for the sake of the channel. It saves things. Like it really does. It saves me trouble in the end. So we're gonna cut that off and we'll go straight to Rumble and the DLive. So, whoa.